哎，哇，
吃它，吃它，
等一下有吃的哈。吃少了也不好量啊，修行的人要坦白嘛哈。对呀，吃饱就吃饱，吃不饱就吃不饱。这是吃馋，知道吗？哎呀，大概天气冷，吃太多了。这边都没煮啊？
煮好了，
煮好了就这样子啊？他们吃不够也不用啊？
对，上面再煮。
上面不是这边啊？
没有，这边整理好换上面煮，现在煮的。
啊，什么意思？这可能是下面煮，不是这里啊？
不是，因为这边煮好之后，上面是后补的。
后补的。嘿，哇，这里好温暖哦。来这里就不想出来了。It's very warm. OK， 你们看看啊，那个两个帮忙嘛，他一个地方不够，看看他们吃够不够。
好
，OK， 不够就找外一个煮一点啊。因为天气很冷，他们吃不够会睡不着啊。
好，
知道吗？睡不着，然后打坐的时候都这样。那多煮一点，去看看哪一边不好，赶快帮忙补一下。
好。
给你装就好了。吃不饱去那边吃，知道吗？冷嘛冷啊，比较冷的。
睡袋用的不会啦。
什么？
睡袋把它包起来就不会了。
啊，睡袋包起来，吃饭的头也包起来。打就好哈。好。还有，有人埋伏我们在上面。埋伏我们，看到没有？比较冷嘛，不然你跟你们一样运动裤。这个好， 个都是很好的，真是。严重以后比较大。真的那么冷啊？就没有风，我上面才风。我上面是很冲烈的，这边不山了，这边是最好的。你想嘛？墙壁啊有，厕所啊有，包起来了。哎，那边根本没有什么风啊，上面哇，很厉害。你不知道上面的境界啊。所以在上面很冷，下去就 OK 了。我下来就比较没那么冷。See you later, OK?
这个你上什么嘞？
那个赤峰高去篮球场测试，知道不知道？都知道啊，真的吗？怎么知道？刚刚师傅讲的。真的？所以我讲你们才知道啊。对，这样有人不知道呢。有点欺负，有点欺负。Wake up if you want, otherwise continue to sleep. Huh? Do you hear some sound? Just now? Okay. Are there any more foreigners? Come sit up here. Any more who come from foreign country? Not Hoa Chao, huh? Not Hoa Chao. Only foreigners can come up here. There are still places. You want? You close circle, closer circle, okay? It's warmer that way. Just move your, you know what? Move your thing. Move your, you know what, huh? Okay, that's it. Okay? Alright, enough for now. You alright? So now don't move anymore because I have enough allergy with dust these days. Okay, last time I think I promised some of you that I would teach you the Shiva way of life. Huh? Okay. 中国人以后会有翻译的啊，比较好哈。I think I speak English better or I speak Chinese better? Huh? Speak English, huh? How many of you understand English? Raise your hand. English. Okay. Any people who understand English can listen. All right. Everyone else, plug your ears on. Okay. You all right now? Okay. I think I better speak in English, huh? Just as a courtesy to you, to the foreigners. Not all of you are English native, but you know, English is an international language. I cannot speak simultaneously 3 languages, so either you move here or he moves here. No, you move there. Just somebody else cannot see you. You're too big. You should sit behind. The tall one should sit behind. It's okay. All right. I cannot speak every language at the same time here, so I speak English just as a gesture of how to say, of friendship, yeah, and of courtesy to the foreigners. Later, these can be translated into Chinese, and they slowly enjoy. To translate into Chinese is pretty easy for them, yeah, from English. I think so. Don't you? Yes. Of course, I know. Okay, look here. You know about Shiva? Any one of you hear about Shiva? Yes. Yes? Can you talk louder? I cannot hear anything. What did you say? Yes. What? Yes. Okay. Yeah, exercise your lungs. Yeah. All right. It's pretty cold here today. That is the fact. Huh? And I hope you survive. You don't have hat? Hat? You don't need? Tough guy, huh? No, you don't have to take the head off to listen to me. You listen with your ears only. Okay, now we have some hearing problem. Can you hear me? Yeah? I can't hear myself. I can, of course. We heard of Shiva, huh? The god of destruction of India. Oh, by the way, there was an Indian man last night. Where is he right now? No, not you, the other one with beard. Why didn't he come up? You rather sit there? You prefer the Asian company? Yeah, you don't understand English, you do, huh? Come over here, brother. You don't have sleeping bag? No need take shoes off. We're not in India temple here. Take your shoes. Oh my God. Okay. You have your sleeping bag? You're warm enough like that? And your seat? Your cushion? You alright? Okay. The Indian people, they used to sit in anywhere, no problem. Okay, now, we heard of Shiva, the god of destruction of India, huh? I think it's a great misunderstanding of Shiva. He wasn't the god of destruction, according to what I read, yeah? What I know. He might destroy the negativities of people, yeah? He might destroy all the ugliness which sometimes accumulates within ourselves, yeah? And within him at that time, perhaps, but not to destroy any beautiful things on this planet. He's not a destroyer of goodness, virtues, and beauty, yeah? He's a destroyer of all that is undesirable to clear the planet. Mind you, all the gods have tried very hard since ancient times, but our planet is still like this. Except for Sihu, I don't see anywhere more beautiful. So, I hope you know, yeah? Spread love and not garbage. And the poor old woman have to clean up after everybody all the time. Yeah, we have enough garbage to clear off, to clear away, What would you come in and cakes and candies and vegetables and noodles and all these wraps, of these have to be cleared up. And I seem to never have enough space here in this center. They always spread around. It's terrible. And it makes me very tired when I'm dragged down into the physical existence of garbage. It's very difficult for me to climb up again and to talk about things that are more noble, yeah, and purifying and more loving. That's why I hate garbage. And that's why I try to keep clearing them all the time. But sometimes, human nature, very, very difficult to cleanse. And that's what makes all the masters run into the Himalayas. Not the devils chase them, just the garbage of humankind. Yeah, so you see how strong it is, the garbage? The visible garbage is that strong already, not to talk about the invisible garbage that we like to keep in all the storerooms of our heart and the body parts. Okay, so forget about the garbage. Now let's talk about something else better, I hope so. Om Tofu, bless me. Bless me. Bless me harder so that I have the inspiration and wisdom and courage to continue to live in this world and to do your job that you don't want to do. Okay, it's a deal? Shiva has a consort, I don't know what this consort means to you. It means nothing to me. I don't have one. Perhaps it's a companion, huh? Or a wife? No, it's not a wife, huh? Is it a wife?
Girlfriend.
Girlfriend. So he had one. Her name was Devi. Devi means goddess, no? Is that right? In India? Oh, yeah. In India, they have beautiful names. Maybe that's what we should learn. All their names are holy. You know, Devi, Deva, Purusha, Krishna, Lakshmanjula, and what else? Oh. Huh?
Parvati. Shiva's wife was Parvati.
Parvati. He was wife for Parvati.
His wife?
Wife's name was Parvati.
Parvati.
Parvati. Oh, Parvati, but he named her Devi, right?
Living in the mountain. Parvati means mountain.
Yeah. But he named her Devi. Perhaps the title, huh?
Perhaps that's the way they address each other.
Yeah, sometimes he addressed her Devi and lotus eye and loving one and sweet princess. My God, the way he spoke to her, I would like to marry him. Too bad he's already gone. In the language of such sweetness and heavenly blessing that I think we should all learn to speak with each other. The way Shiva spoke to his girlfriend or wife, it is really incredible. Such language today we hardly hear. Yes, so beautiful. He always called her all the best names that you can think of and spoke to her in such a sweet and gentle voice. Well, I imagine it was a gentle voice. Yeah, if he called her sweet princess, lotus eye one, he cannot say sweet princess. So it must have been very gentle, romantic, and kind. That is the way each husband should speak to his beloved. Yeah. Well, it takes a long way to learn. Now, we see Shiva is supposed to be the god of destruction. Yeah, but it's not so. As I told you many times already, we have a lot of prejudice against something that is new. Shiva, perhaps he was a very liberal, spiritual leader of his time, too advanced for the people of his own generation to understand, and too liberal for the conservative Indians to bear. So they call him the god of destruction, perhaps. Many bad names have also been unfortunately addressed to the god Shiva. So today, in the most reverent mood and respectful heart, I'm going to tell you the way Shiva taught his disciples so that we clear the bad names for him forever. And then we will learn in the future again to respect and to try to understand whatever gurus try to teach us. Whether it is good, then we will keep it. And if it's bad, then at least we learn something that we're not to do it. Okay? Not to do the way he does. And in my understanding, Shiva was teaching goodness, kindness, and beauty. Yeah. So later we will prove it. Okay? By some of the proof that I have searched for you, and try to make it as understandable as possible in the ordinary language. I cannot express them as beautiful, as romantic, and as sweet as the way Shiva did to his wife or his consort, but I try as best as I can to make you understand the teaching of the great master. Yeah? Now, one time in a great assembly, like this perhaps, his wife, his consort, the great Devi, Mataji, and what else? Supreme matress, matriarch of the house, asked Shiva about spiritual practice. She herself has been greatly enlightened, and more or less as enlightened as Shiva himself. But for the sake of other people who have not been wise enough to even ask a meaningful question, so that the master can be inspired or can have the opportunity to teach them the truth, the highest, noblest ideal. So his wife had to ask the question for their sake, not that she did not understand. Being with him all her life, she must have understood. So now she asked him thus, "O Shiva, what is our true identity? What is this wonderful universe? What makes the karma? What constitutes the karma? Who is in the center of the universal revolving wheel? What is this life beyond form? How many can understand the truth fully, above space and time, above names and definitions?" Wow, it's cool. So please explain, so let my doubts be cleared. What she meant was the doubt of other people, right? I want you to understand that Devi Parvati at that time was absolutely enlightened, just like her husband. Well, if we read their stories, we know, because just like the story of Kabir's wife, you remember? Yes, they were both enlightened saints. But as a true Hindu wife and goddess, she would never in a dream put her foot in front of her husband and let people know how great she is. It is enough that he is enlightened and is a teacher. She doesn't care to be the second one or the equal one. All the Hindu wives never in a dream do such things. Yes, they are very humble. They always stay behind and do whatever the husband told them to do. That's why, since ancient times, we have so few women masters. Because, as you know, most of the sacred literature of practicing spiritually is well preserved and revered in India. And many of the great masters came from India. And many of the great masters came from different lands, but have their root of spirituality from India. So, of course, men teach men, and then men go out and spread the good news to men again. And then choose a man here, since men is more associated with men, so the hair will be men again. And then so the circle goes round. Because Hindu women would never try, to be assertive and to show their greatness from within or without. If there is a master already, there is one enough. She is contented to cook chapatis, to grill potatoes, and to clean the house for whoever her husband brings home as guests. When you go to an Indian household, the wife always cooks, cleans after you, and does everything to make you comfortable, while the husband will treat you as good as a guest and converse with you and try to entertain you in an intellectual or spiritual level. The wife would clean after your feet even. She clean after the food that you left on the floor and make everything comfortable for you. Never speaks to you if not spoken to. So this is some of the very good qualities of the Hindu woman that I would like to share with you, which I cannot learn yet. Luckily I don't have a husband, so I don't consider it anymore. Well, when I learn all these qualities, it's too late, right? My husband already picked up another one. And perhaps both of them are struggling to learn still. So it saved a lot of my problems and time. So now I can sit here and talk all kinds of universal to you. Otherwise, what do you think? I'd be in the kitchen right now, cooking chapatis. Yeah, maybe he's sitting here but don't know what to tell you. All right. So now let's come back to the over 100 ways of practice. Okay. After Devi has asked this meaningful and deep question, Shiva lovingly replied. So what does he call her now? The first answer? Radiant One. Wow! You don't even call me that. You only call me Suma. Radiant One. Maybe in America you got apple pie, huh? Huh? Ketchup One. Or French fry. Kentucky. Kentucky French fry. We're talking about this. I have a joke for you. Should we have a joke or should we come to this? Huh? Joke? Okay, joke. We still have that to come to. Don't worry. Okay. There were many neighbors living together in one, block complex, and one of the wives complained to her husband thus: "Look here, all of our neighbors' husbands call their wives such sweet and romantic names, and you never call me one like that." You know the story already? No? How come you laugh then? Don't laugh so soon, you'll probably cry later. If it happens to apply to you. So the husband said, what did they call their wives? I never heard anything. So the wife said, the one who lives on our right, he calls his wife apple pie. And the one who lives next to him calls his wife sweet cherry blossom. The one who lives left to us calls his wife rosemary. Rosemary is a very fragrant kind of spice you put into your food, yeah? And the other one next to him calls her my lovely pizza. Still, the on and on other people also calls her my bonsai, my precious bonsai. And the other one calls her, my diamond, my flawless diamond. And you never call me anything so sweet and romantic like this. So the husband shook his head and said, I'm sorry, but the one who lives on the right side, he's a baker. And the one next to him, what did he call her? Huh? Cherry blossom, huh? Okay. He's a gardener. He plants cherries. He's Japanese. And the one on the left calls his wife rosemary. He sells herbs. Yeah, herbal things. Yeah. And the other one who calls his wife diamond because he's a jeweler. I'm a shoe repairer. I can't call you my broken shoe. Yeah, it's good that he's not a coffin maker. Huh? My solid coffin. You know when they bury the dead in? A solid coffin. So make sure not to force your husband too hard, okay? In case he's not in the right profession to give you the sweetest name that you desire. Now, but you can tell your husband to learn from Shiva, huh? The god of destruction. All right. Shiva was very liberal, he wore snakes and all that around his arms, and he chose a man's genitals for a kind of a symbol of the universal reproductive force, yeah? But what he actually meant is that all the world was created by the creative force, it's not the truth, it's not the highest abode of humankind, of the soul, yeah? The creativity, the force of creation, which created the universe, came through Maya. So in the old times, to talk about Maya and creativity, he had to use a very crude object, like a man's genital. just to let the people at that time know what he meant. How can he philosophize with them in that time when all people know is something very crude, very primitive, very down to earth, a very daily life like example. In each period of time, the master had to live, teach, and make people understand according to the people's level of consciousness and of progress at that time. You should understand clearly. And so don't compare and say why Moses allowed people to kill goat and Master Ching Hai says no, 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 no. You know what I mean? Now we don't have to say that anymore because nobody kills each other. Don't kill even pigs. Don't kill even chickens. Because it's not necessary to tell them don't kill human for sacrifice anymore. Not in Taiwan or not in the places that I have been for preaching. No? Okay. So now, the first answer Shiva gave to his wife, his companion, his lifelong companion is this. Radiant one, if you like to experience the illumination, you can concentrate between the two breaths, between when the breath comes out and comes in this between time, then you will have the benefit of the illumination. Of course, what he meant is you must concentrate, yeah? When you properly, because in the daily life, this is not one method alone, you know? Although you can do that, but we should use all this 112. We should use it in different circumstances in order to concentrate our mind. So sometimes, if you remember, I have also taught you, during daily activity, you should always remember, yeah, your wisdom center and repeat the 5 names. But should you forget, you know, even every activity you should concentrate. But it's very difficult for you, so you concentrate on the 5 names, even while you are working. But you should not concentrate on the physical breath, but in between. What he meant between the 2 breaths, one comes out and one comes in, is that the non-breath, the non-breathing being, that's what we should concentrate on. That means we should always remember the Almighty, the one without breath, the one for whom breath is not necessary, the one that breath cannot touch, etc., etc. You understand? This is only for the one who already understood the way of practice. It's not to go out and to teach the lay members of the society to concentrate between the 2 breaths. Of course, concentration of any kind brings benefit, but not to the extent as if we know where to concentrate and what to concentrate on. Is that clear? Yes. Okay. So, in our daily activities, we have a lot of work to do. So sometimes it's very difficult to just remember the wisdom center. So, in case you cannot, or in case you have to concentrate on your work, then there are ways we can convert work into practice. That's why the Buddha said there are 84,000 ways of practice, and none of them is not a practice, not a spiritual practice way. And here Shiva, to make it short, he can't just sit there and list 84,000 ways of Dharma practice. So he made 112. That should be enough for you and for us, for me. Okay. So what he means by between the breath is remember the non-being, yeah, the non-physical being. Yeah. So when you remember, I tell you, don't concentrate on the breath. Yeah. And do not pay attention to the physical sensation during initiation. You remember? Okay. So that is what he meant as well. That's why he said concentrate, remember the one between the breath. Not that we concentrate between the breath only, continuously so. Because he was afraid, perhaps if he told you, I suppose, maybe I'm wrong, later we will know, huh? And later maybe we read some more and then I will tell you more. Okay, there are a lot of things to read and we're only the first one yet. I'm afraid if you concentrate on the breath, you will make it like a rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And later, suddenly, someday, you experience a state of non-breathing. And then you probably will know where to turn to for concentration. Yeah? To go further than the breath rhythm. And then you get stuck there. Okay, now the second advice that he gave to his wife and to all beings was this. When the breath turns from down to up, meaning when you breathe out, yeah, and when you breathe in, you do not follow the breath. But when you breathe, for example, if you are an athlete, maybe you are just running or you do some errand and you have to run fast, then do not just try to give yourself up to exhaustion. For example, when you breathe too hard, like this, then you should not lose yourself in the running, but try to make use of the if you cannot concentrate on anything else because you have to run, yeah, like you have to do sport and you have a competition, then you should better just realize that the breath is coming, the breath's coming out, and then try to center yourself, yeah, in the being behind all this breathing and behind all this exercising, in order to centralize yourself, to be self-centered. And at that moment, even though running, you will also be experiencing enlightenment. And so, of course, it makes your work easier. I hope I understood him and explained it correctly. If not, you can tell me later. If you know something better, you tell me, okay? The third one. You know what? When people translated Shiva's teaching, it's already confusing. Because the one who translated not necessarily did understand him, yeah? And then the one who translated before him even already made a mess. So many translations make more mess. I'm trying very hard to explain to you the way I understood. I hope I don't make worse mess than already has been made. The third one. Or in the middle of the fusion of the two breaths, try to center on that. Of course, repeat the 5 names. You know what I mean? In that case, you will not try to hang on to the breath, but just to remember, something to remember. And then you repeat the holy names, and then center yourself. So what he meant is, whether you're working, you're running, or you're standing, you're walking, you still always can find something to concentrate on and repeat the 5 names. If you happen to forget, the wisdom center, because you probably have to run. You have to run and you have to look at the road. If you concentrate too much on the wisdom eye, maybe you forgot to look at the road, and then you become the last of the competitors instead of the first prize. Because this person, when he translated, perhaps he overlooked what Shiva meant inside by telling him to remember, the breathless being, or the energyless, energy field, you know what I mean? Like a gate without gate and gateless gate, things like that. Yes, it's very difficult for anyone of any level to understand a master's secret teaching. And this is supposed to be very deep, very secret, transmitted from one master to one disciple. And if a lay person happen to hear it, he probably get confused. Never mind translating it, and then translate it from another translation, and there would be more confusion. Yeah. So I try my best to make it clear for you. So the energyless energy field center, energyless energy, that can only mean the cosmos. Yeah, can only mean the Almighty, the Supreme Master within every being. So even while breathing and running fast, we still have to remember that center. Yeah, if we can. Of course, it's difficult. So people say, well, when I'm running, when I'm working, it's very difficult to remember. Okay, you don't have to remember the wisdom center, but you remember the wisdom being, the wise being, the being without, running, the being that is always still. So in every action, we still can try to remember. Yeah, for example, when we're running fast, we try to remember the one who is still. That is our true self, our identity. For example, like that. That's what I understood. If I understood it wrong, well, please, the Indian, correct me. Is that correct, brothers? What do you think?
My knowledge is very shallow.
You're very humble, as all the Indians are. What do you think, Devi, behind there? You think it's okay? Okay. The fourth advice Shiva gave to his disciples is like this. Also, when breath is all out, yeah, or in, meaning when you breathe all out or when you inhale, just inhale enough in and stop at that time, in the middle of that, in such a universal pause, suddenly the small self, the physical self, vanishes. This is very easy at that time to realize the whole purity of the true self. That's what the translation is supposed to mean. Huh?
There is the breathing coming and out when they join together. Prana, aprana.
Prana.
Prana, aprana.
No, it's in the between. Don't confuse people, okay? And don't speak Sanskrit here. I don't understand either. You with your Mahayana, Prana, Mahaprana and all that. You know that practice? Pranayam and all that? All right. So, in this, what he meant is, before you breathe out again, or before you breathe in. Oh my God. Okay, I breathe for you. Yeah? That is the moment he meant. Or when all out. Yeah. Even in those instances, we have to remember the purity of our true being. He said, but it is very difficult. If you are impure, you will not remember that. You will always follow the breath in and out, or follow your exhaustion of the body, and then forget completely the true identification of our being. All right. The fifth way to remember is that now, sometimes you forget, right? So you try to remember by considering your own essence as light, and it comes in, saturating throughout your body. At that time, by remembering so, you will awake the liveliness within yourself, awaken the true life force within ourselves again. Of course, at that time, don't do the Quán, because you can't. Yeah? So at least try to consider, to remember that you are the light. Remember the experience you have when you meditate on the light and you saw the light. So at that time, when you cannot meditate on the light, at least try to remember, to consider that you are the light. Yeah, okay? That's what I understand. All the teaching here is just a way to try to defeat your mind's wandering tendency in everyday life. So in every situation, there are many ways to try to grip the mind back. You see, that's why he teaches the disciples so many ways to control the mind. Because if you let the mind free for 1 second, it will think of all kinds of garbage. Therefore, there are 112 ways to catch the mind every day. So if you use one after another, perhaps you always try to remember the holy essence of our true being. The sixth advice is that the space is between. Okay. So sometimes, perhaps, when it rains, according to here, in the space between the different lightning, sometimes in the storm, the lightning comes one after another, right? So in between that, feel yourself as such powerful as the lightning of the universe. Even in the rain, you can remember God. You can remember your own identity. That's perhaps what the Master meant. Unless any wiser person tells me otherwise, because I don't have the whole scripture here. I only have a very short, concentrated essence of the teaching. And we try to make the best translation out of it. Okay? Interpretation. Yeah. Now, continue further. He spoke to her sweetly again. Devi. He called her goddess. Yeah. Goddess. Imagine. You can also try to remember God or to be enlightened by imagining the Sanskrit letters. First, as they are letters. For the Americans, I don't think you should imagine the Sanskrit letters, but the alphabet. It would be wiser for us. Yeah. First, imagine them one by one as letters, as physical letters. But later, try to perceive more as sounds. Yeah, like A, B. And don't have to speak out loud, but try to perceive them as a silent sound. And then, transcending the sound, we enter the feeling. Try to feel the letters, vibration, instead of hearing the sound or seeing the written words. Is that clear? Okay. Suppose you are a teacher. You have to teach ABC or English. Then perhaps in some moment of the repose, yes, you probably cannot concentrate right away. Or you have to have a lunch break. And your mind is still full of A, B, C, D, E, F. Then you make use of that as well. Turn around and meditate on it. At least you concentrate. You know what I mean? Suppose your mind is always full of work and you can't just in a moment of silence become immediately tuned in back to the 5 names or back to whatever awareness that you desire. Then we make use of the situation. Yeah? And turn that into a concentration method. And meditate, concentrate, until we can be aware again of our awareness. And we are back to our control again. Then it's okay to repeat the 5 names and do the Quán. Just like the American people say, if somebody gives you lemon, make lemonade out of it. What else can you do? It's too sour. So we add some sugar and make it into a refreshing drink. Yeah. So similarly, our mind is a wandering horse all the time. So in every situation, we have to try to use its own wandering power to turn it back to our own advantages of concentration. Now you understand? Like yesterday, we say the weeds in the garden. If we cannot weed them out, then love them. Or try to make something else. Try to make salad out of the dandelion leaves. Yeah, they make excellent salad, very nutritious. In fact, in Germany now, because it's so much developed. The wild land is very hard to find. So those dandelions are a rare species. And so if you want to buy them in the market, it's expensive. Yeah, more expensive than ordinary salad. I'm not kidding you. The German people, do you know? Is that true? Nobody lives in Germany. You know, huh?
The same in Switzerland.
You have the same in Switzerland. Also more expensive than ordinary salad. Yeah, I guess so. Because people don't go into the wild anymore and pick these things. So the few who do, sell them in the market, and you don't get that many. You don't get plenty. Yes, I know that. Last time we were in Germany, just recently, I showed them to disciples. This is what the one we want to pick yesterday, and I used to pick before, and they wanted to buy it, and they're expensive, more than the other salad. So don't look down upon these wild things. Nowadays, wild things are more expensive than the cultivated things. In the old times, it was the contrary, right? Why did we go to eating right now? Terrible. I must be hungry. I didn't have my lunch yet. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, let's go back to the Sanskrit letters. All right. If you are Indian, of course, you imagine the Sanskrit letters first as a written word, and then as a sound, and then as a feeling, and then finally leave all of them and be free. Free of all thinking or imagination or feeling or nothing. Just sit there and enjoy. Okay? All right.